This video we are going to solve a question on the inverse of matrices, that is the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix and the inverse of a 3 by 3 matrix. Okay, so the question says A is that and B is that, so we should find the inverse of A and B. Okay, so let's go. We have a solution. Now let's write back the first matrix A, which is 3 0 5 2. Okay, so we have to find the inverse of this matrix. So to find the inverse of this matrix, we can go in steps. The first step, we find the determinant. The second step, we find the adjoint. And finally, the inverse of the matrix. Okay. But first, let us write the formula to find the inverse of any matrix. So since we have A, let's say the inverse of this matrix A will be 1 divided by the determinant of A times the adjoint of A. So let's have step 1, which is to find the determinant of A. To find the determinant of A, we multiply the elements which are the diagonal, that is 3 times 2 minus those which are not at the diagonal, 5 times 0. So that is all. So this is 6 minus 0. So our determinant is 6. So the determinant of A is 6. Okay. So now let us find the adjoint of the matrix. Now we have step 2. Step 2, which is to find the adjoint of the matrix A. Now to find the adjoint of A, we switch the numbers at the diagonal and we change the signs of the numbers which are not at the diagonal. Okay. So if we do that, we will end up with, so the adjoint of A is, so let's switch 3 and 2 are the diagonal, so we switch it to 2 and 3, and then up here we have 0 and here we have minus 5. So that is it. That is the adjoint of the matrix. So now let's have step 3 finally, which is to find the inverse. So A inverse is 1 divided by the determinant. So what's the determinant of A? It is 6 times the adjoint. The adjoint is this matrix, 2 0 minus 5 3. So we can leave it like that, or we can multiply it because it is a fraction, so we can choose to leave it like that. But let me simplify it. So this is 2 on 6, 0 minus 5 on 6, and 3 on 6. 2 on 6 and 3 on 6 can further be simplified, so we further simplify it. So A inverse is equal to 1 on 3, 0 minus 5 on 6, and 1 on 2. So this is the inverse of the matrix A. But this is only for a 2 by 2 matrix. For a 3 by 3 matrix, it is longer and more complex. So let's go. Now let's have our 3 by 3 matrix. So So it is, let me just write it down. Two, one minus one, one minus one, two, and three, zero, one. So this is 1, not 7. Let me confirm. Okay, so this is the matrix B. So we have to find the inverse. So write our formula down again. So the inverse of B is 1 on the determinant of B times the adjoint of B. Okay, so we have step 1 to find the determinant of B. So let me write back the matrix. So write our signs. This is plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. So let's choose a row which is better for us, which has 0. So row 3 has 0, so we are going to be dealing with that row. So let's take the first number. It's going to be positive 3. We delete its rows and columns. Delete the column, delete the row. So we are left with 1 minus 1 minus 1, 2. Take the next, which is minus 0. We delete its rows and columns. We are left with 2 minus 1, 1, 2. Let's take the next, plus 1. We delete its rows and columns. So we are left with 2, 1, 1 minus 1. Okay. So now these are 2 by 2 matrices. So let us take their determinants. So what is the determinant of that matrix, of this 2 by 2 matrix of the first one? It is 2 times 1 minus 1 times minus 1 into minus 0 times the determinant 2 times 2 minus 1 times minus 1, and then we have the third plus positive 1 into 2 times minus 1 minus 1 times 1. So that is it. Now let's simplify. Plus 3 into, this is 2 minus 1 times minus 1 is 1, so it's 2 minus 1. Okay, minus 0, this is 4 plus 1, and then plus 1 minus 2 minus 1. Okay, so now this one has 0. It has 0, so it's just going to be 0. Normally, like basically, it's going to be 0. So that is why we choose rows with zeros. That is to simplify things. Okay, so we are going to be left with 3. 2 minus 1 is 1. And then plus 1. Minus 2 minus 1 is minus 3. So it's going to be 3 minus 3. Oh my god. So 3 minus 3, which is 0. So this already tells us that it is going to be undefined, because 1 on 0 is very undefined. It is undefined, so in this case we cannot use it. So in this case, if you are given this type of question and the determinant comes out 0, so in this case you say that the matrix does not have an inverse, because if the determinant is equal to 0, then it does not have an inverse because it's going to be undefined. Because if we take, it is normally 1 divided by the determinant times the adjoint. So if you have 1 divided by 0 times a certain matrix, so this is already undefined, so it will make everything undefined. So in this case, we have found the determinant and we have seen that it is not, we have seen that it is equal to 0. So write that since the determinant is equal to 0, determinant of b is equal to 0, then b is undefined. Sorry, it does not have, it is undefined, which means it does not have an inverse. So that is what we have. So remember to look for the inverse of a matrix. The formula is 1 divided by the determinant of that matrix times the adjoint of the matrix. And if you have a determinant which is 0, then that matrix does not have an inverse. So that's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.